What do you know about motorcycle speed records? In the following video, you won't see the BMW S1000RR, Ducati Panigale, and Honda CBR 1000RR. It looks a little bit boring. Instead, today you are about to see the brightest moments in the history of motorcycle speed records. How it was in 1907 when a daredevil hit 219 kilometers on a Florida beach, sitting on his homemade airplane engine. Fastest girl in the world, the legendary Burt Munro, and the fastest speed ever registered on a motorcycle. And here we ride. Forget all you read about early car speed records. It's January 24th, 1907, and on a beach in Florida, a daring young man, Glenn Curtis, has just blasted across the sand at 219 kilometers per hour, run on a V8-powered motorcycle of his own design. He built the engine, he built the bike, and he rode the frightening-looking machine across Ormond Beach himself. Trains actually held the land speed record until 1907. That all changed when Glenn built and rode his motorcycle to a land speed record of 219 kilometers. Curtis remained the fastest man in the world, the title the newspapers gave him for going faster than any vehicle, on land, sea, or air, until 1911, when his absolute record was broken by the Blitzen-Benz automobile. His initial main business was the manufacture of high-power, lightweight engines for a range of purposes. But Curtis was a daredevil at heart. He earned the nickname Hell Rider, and it's obviously why. When Glenn installed one of his 4,000cc V8 aircraft engines into a motorcycle and blew all competitors into the weeds with a run of 219 kilometers an hour on a beach in Florida at January morning in 1907. The rider's seat was positioned aft of the massive engine, which necessitated the gangly-looking pullback handlebars. There was no suspension aside from a sprung saddle. There was no transmission or clutch. Power was put down via direct shaft off the crankshaft. It also had no exhaust system to speak of, so the noise would have been deafening. Stopping was handled by a rudimentary system, something like typical bicycle bars of the era, which is to say, non-existent. Riding the monstrosity at any speed must have been utterly terrifying. Glenn Curtis has really proved why his nickname was a Hell Rider. 233 kilometers, still nothing out of the common. Guy Martin rides to the store, faster. Martin uses 1000cc sport bike, and our next motorcycle is only 50cc, and it sounds like a squirrel after a 3-week constipation. If really good things can come in small packages, then really fast things can come in really small packages too. John Budenbaum, a metal fabricator, and Eric Noyes, a NASA engineer, set out to go very fast with a very small engine. John Budenbaum accelerated to 233 kilometers per hour, setting the new world record with 50cc engine at the Bonneville Salt Flats in 2008. The world's fastest Indian, Burt Munro. In 1920, Burt brought the Indian Scout, which he would continuously modify for the rest of his life. Munro's dedication to motorcycles was enormous. For years, he worked 16 hours per day in the shed. During this period, he honed his skills at designing his own parts for the bike. Munro found unique sources for raw materials. As an example, he once carved out rods for his Indian using a Ford truck axle. It took him 5 months, but the rods lasted over 20 years through countless high-speed runs.
How fast you were going back there?
Yeah, about 150, 160 miles an hour.
He experimented with a variety of metals by trial and error, once melting down old gas pipeline and combining it with other melted metals to cast pistons for his bike. For wheels, to engine parts, to the Streamliner shell, it was all made by Munro using only junk in his shed. In 1962, Munro finally made the trip to America aboard a rusting cargo ship. In order to pay for his ocean crossing, he worked as the ship's cook. That set a record in the category of streamlined motorcycles under 1000cc. To qualify, he made a one-way run of 304 kilometers, the fastest ever officially recorded speed on an Indian. In his inaugural run at the Salt Flats in 1962, Monroe set a world record of 288 kilometers per hour on his 850cc engine. At the Salt in 1967, Burt was going like a bomb. He topped out at over 331 kilometers per hour, but that spill meant the run remained unofficial. Legendary rider Burt Monroe was inducted into the AMA Motorcycle Hall of Fame in 2006. 434 kilometers per hour. This is the Kilojoule, fastest electric motorcycle on the planet. And this nice girl is Eva Haakonsen. She is a rider of this daredevil machine. Accelerating to 400 kilometers per hour, Eva Haakonsen set a new electric motorcycle speed record at Bonneville Salt Flats. Before this attempt, Kilojoule became the world's fastest electric motorcycle and the world's fastest sidecar motorcycle of any kind. Although the official record was registered at 387 kilometers, during one of the unofficial speed record also made, this 33-year-old girl became the world's fastest female on a motorcycle in the whole world. Silverbird was the first motorcycle in history that reached a speed over 300 miles per hour. It had two 4-cylinder, 694cc reed valve 2-stroke engines from the Yamaha TZ750 race bike, delivering 240 horsepower. Silverbird, ridden by Don Vesco, hit the world record accelerated at 480 kilometers per hour at the Bonneville Speedway in 1975. The widest step towards the god of speed, because the previous record was only 410 kilometers. 510 kilometers. The only way motorcyclists could go faster than 500 kilometers was by lying nearly flat on their backs inside a completely enclosed, custom-made Streamliner bike, as much a rocket as a motorcycle. William Walter completed in the conventional motorcycle class, a far more cost-effective one. He began reconfiguring his Suzuki Hayabusa in 2010. He replaced virtually the entire engine and converted it to run on methanol, which has a higher octane rating and burns at a lower temperature than gasoline. He stretched the aluminum frame, added carbon fiber wheels, and built a fiberglass fairing, or aerodynamic cowl, by hand. He also added a turbocharger, which he called Ginormous. On Sunday, at Loring Air Force Base in Limestone, Maine, riding a highly modified turbocharged 1,000 horsepower Suzuki Hayabusa, he became the first man to exceed 500 kilometers an hour riding on a sit-on motorcycle, with a stunning 510 kilometers an hour run on the 1.5-mile course. On July 14, 2013, while attempting to break 500 kilometers in a single mile at the Loring Timing Association Land Speed Meet, Warner lost control of his motorcycle at 459 kilometers per hour. His motorcycle veered off the course and struck a 6-foot concrete landing light pedestal, and he was thrown a great distance. Warner was conscious after the crash, but was pronounced dead at Carey Medical Center in Caribou, Maine. 634 kilometers. On September 25, 2010, powered by two 1,300cc Suzuki Hayabusa turbocharged engines, which produced more than 900 horsepower, dildo-shaped motorcycle named Ack-Attack became the world's fastest motorcycle by achieving an average speed in both directions across a measured mile of 604 kilometers per hour at the same Bonneville Salt Flats. But the max registered speed was that same unbelievable 634 kilometers per hour. And the last one, 847 kilometers. The Spirit of America was the first of the modern record-breaking jet-propelled cars. Yup, car. Built with a narrow streamlined fuselage, 3-wheel chassis, and most significantly, turbojet engine. Like most of the other competing vehicles, the engine was ex-military. The first Spirit had a General Electric J47 turbojet engine from an F-86 Sabre. Craig Breedlove set his first record on September 5, 1963 at Bonneville, the first man to set an average speed of over 640 kilometers per hour during a land speed record. At the time of the Spirit of America's construction, the FIA Fédération Internationale des Automobiles rules for a land speed record required a four-wheel chassis. Spirit's record was thus not recognized as an official record by the FIA. But the Fédération Internationale de Motorcyclisme did recognize it, however, classing Spirit as a three-wheeler motorcycle. Years later, Breedlove returned to Bonneville with Spirit and pushed the new record, 846 kilometers per hour. Imagine, he passed each 280 meters in only 1 second. Anyway, Spirit wasn't built for such speeds. Passing 860 kilometers per hour, Spirit of America broke two records more. First of which is the high speed of skidding was 640 kilometers per hour when the machine lost its parachute brakes. And the second, longest skid marks in the world, Spirit skidded for 8 kilometers through a row of telephone poles and crashed in a brine pod at around 320 kilometers per hour. Drenched but uninjured, Breedlove climbed out of the cockpit. 2 weeks later after that, in October 1964, Motorcycle Federation changed the rules, and the legendary Spirit of America became a car again. This was a story of the coolest motorcycle speed records, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you.
What will be if we wrap you round and round with Scotch tape? Throw the whole package into a microwave oven. Roast it quite well. Feed that to a giant hungry whale. After that, drown you in the ocean. Then bury you alive, send you into space, then let you drop back down to Earth straight to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. After that, take you out and dry you under a nice warm lightning storm. Dress you up, comb you out, stick you on a plane, climb to a height of 30,000 feet, and toss you out once more, where you plummet back down to the unyielding surface. Of course, without a parachute. What will happen then? Let's ask Arnold. How are you feeling, buddy? You still on your feet? Well then, how about this? There's no time to explain. Just click on the link in the description and watch the first episode in this awesomely great new cartoon series, soon to explode across the entire damn internet. Come on, press the button. You can't resist subscribing to this channel.